What is up, people? This is the Oracle. We are back online for another hour of Devastation draft. And today I have a lot more experience. Maybe not a lot more, but definitely more experience with the set. I think I've done about 6 drafts since the first one I recorded and uploaded. And I kind of like the set. I think it's slightly slower than Amonkhet, and I like that more. In any case, we have Grind to Dust in this pack, which seems like a great card. Like even if you only end up playing black, it's a pretty good card. And then if you are black-white, this can be just great. Struggle Survive is good. You don't really care about Survive, you just want to play Struggle because it's a good card, so it's mostly a red card. Farm Market has impressed me quite a lot. I think it's pretty good. Sunscourge Champion is quite solid too. And then nothing too special in the common. I mean, a couple decent cards, but nothing crazy. I think I'm just gonna pick Grind Dust, mostly because it's a rare and I want to see how it plays, if it is as good as it seems. And yeah, we'll see. I think it's definitely better than Struggle Survive and Farm Market. Now, I could imagine well, I'm not sure. Maybe Struggle is better. It's kind of close. But again, it's a rare, and all cards pretty much do the same thing, being removal with slight, aftermath upside. I think they are all better than the Sunscourge Champion, which is fine, but not insane. The defeat cards are really good. You probably want to pick these quite highly. Here I might just pick Shepherd Dunes. I think deserts in general are quite valuable, and this one is decent, especially if we end up playing white-black. White-black tends to go wide with a lot of small zombies, creature token and whatnot, so it could be good. Hour of Eternity, I don't know. I think it's probably decent. I don't think it's insane, but it's probably quite good. I'm not gonna pick it though here because I'm not blue. And Shepherd Dunes I think should be quite solid. I feel like Sunset Pyramid, I've played it once and it was a little bit too slow. I'm not sure. I mean, again, the set is slower. It's slower than Amonkhet for sure, but this is still a fairly slow card. It's something I'd be happy to have in my sideboard, but I'm not sure I would always main deck. Again, defeats are good, but I'm not sure I should pick it here. I think I should pick one of the two drops we have access to here. Mummy Paramount and Rune Rats. It's kind of close. Like, if we somehow end up with a decent amount of zombies and we are pretty aggressive, I'd rather have the Mummy Paramount. On the other hand, Rune Rat I think is, on itself a better card. Also, Grind is, mainly a black card. Like, you can play that in a black deck, but you cannot play the Dust on its own. So I'd rather pick the black card. Also, the Paramount might wheel, whereas the Rat is way less likely to wheel, I believe. Driven to Despair seems like a solid card. It's kind of... The issue is that card, I mean, I haven't played with it or against it yet, but what I could imagine being a problem is that, it requires you to have some decent creature that can attack. Sometimes it's just not going to be able to do anything. It's probably good. Hopefully I'll get to try that soon, but I don't think it's crazy good. Doomfall I think is solid, though not insane. I've been pretty impressed with Wall of the Forgotten Pharaohs. I think that card is really solid, though probably not in a deck like that. Well, it could be fine if we are a little bit more grindy and defensive. Deserts are great. And 2 decent zombies if we want to go on the slightly more aggressive plan. I think I'm just going to pick Doomfall and hope to wheel one of the 2 zombies. Do like Wretched Camel quite a lot. It's a zombie with a good ability. Getting a couple deserts is usually not difficult, and something, it's not like you're, how do you say that? You are not losing anything by picking deserts. All the deserts, especially those who cycles and some of the other with abilities are good and you want these in your deck. So you are not losing anything by picking those. You should pick those anyway, pretty highly. So having cards that requires you to have desert in your deck is really not like, it doesn't really require much of you, as you should and you will most likely draft a couple deserts anyway. I've been very impressed with Sifter Worms. gives a pretty good feeling of Pelaka Worm, which was another 7/7 for 7 in what set was it in Rise of the Eldrazi, that gains 7 when it enters the battlefield and draw a card when it dies. The card was really good, and the worm from this set is slightly weaker, but kind of does similar things. It's been pretty good for me. I've built quite a strong Ram deck yesterday. Dauntless Haven seems great, especially in aggressive deck with a bunch of Exert creatures. Rune Rat I do like quite a bit. Again, I think it's a very solid creature. And then I don't think Razak Cat's Right is great. It's fine, but the issue with the 5 mana tutor effect is that you kind of have to pass your turn doing that. It's fine because you can cycle it if you need to, but not the biggest fan. I believe the Haven is slightly better than the Rat, though if we end up with a more defensive deck, it could be wrong. I don't know. Haven is certainly solid. Okay, again, I do like Wall of the Forgotten Pharaohs. I think that card is fairly underrated right now, works well. Also works decently with Dauntless Haven. Randomly, because you can just tap and... I mean, if you have a desert, obviously. Survivors, Encampment is the other option. I like that card quite a bit. It's a desert, it does fix your mana sometime. It's definitely between these two. Without Weakness, I think is very weak. I think we're just gonna pick the Encampment. Ooh, interesting. That's a pretty late farm. I like the card. I think it's like solid. I'm usually not a big fan of cards that, you know, do damage or destroy attacking or blocking creatures, because they are kind of easy to play around, sometimes a bit clunky, they are not good in aggressive deck. But I've been pretty impressed by the market part of the card, because looting, you know, getting a faceless looting later in the game when you have some useless land has been really good. Now we are not blue, so I'm not sure. I still think it's better than the Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. I'm just gonna pick Desert of the Mindful here. Could help me play the market. I guess there's a Kenra Eternal, which is decent. Should be quite good in white-black deck. So maybe it's just the peak, honestly. I haven't played white-black zombie or see a good white-black zombie deck yet, so I'm not sure if, you know, it's as good and viable as it was in Amonkhet, triple Amonkhet, but well, we'll try. I feel like picking the blue desert is not a bad idea, though. Could have been a very fine pick. I think this card is much better than it looks. There's really quite a bit of things that happens from the graveyard in the set. It's not something I will like be super happy to main deck, but I think it's very main deckable and a very good sideboard option against deck with this amount of how do you say that? Embalm and Eternalize creatures. Just gonna pick Defeat here. Great sideboard option. Steadfast Sentinel, I believe, is quite awful. We will the other Kenra, which is nice, I guess. I don't think Quarry Beetle is that good. Like, even if you do get the land back, you will probably not care that much about going from 5 to 6. It's fine. It's just not as good as some other uncommon. This is a zombie. Don't think I'll ever play that. Who knows? Alright. Ooh, the Scarab God is insane. This might be the most powerful card in the set. I haven't played with it yet, or against it yet. I've played the Locust God so far, which has been insane. All the gods are insane. The Scarab God seems like one of the best, though. I'm just gonna pick that, and I'd be very happy to abandon white and just play that. I could also end up being mainly black with a little bit of white and blue. We'll see. Cool. Well, I'm pretty happy and hype about playing this god. Ooh, Eternal of the Arch Truth seems good. It's also a zombie, which is nice. And it seems like a great card too. I'm just gonna pick that, I believe. Saving Grace is a weird card, and I think it's pretty atrocious. I mean, it's playable, it's really meh. I don't like that card, but maybe I will be proven wrong later. I think Carrion's creature is actually fairly decent. Having one toughness is a little bit of an issue sometimes because of cards like Grind or... I mean, there's a decent amount of deal 1 damage or put 1 counter thing in the set. However, 3 power flyer makes it quite decent, better than it looks. Yeah, let's pick the Eternal. This is a zombie, I guess. Another one. Claim Feign, probably better in constructed than limited. Screecher, again, I said is fine, but not crazy. I don't think we should pick it here. Another defeat. Well, I guess we'll pick the Spellweaver Eternal. I don't think it's great, but it's a zombie, which is nice. Forced Energies. And there's nothing else. Kendra Scrapper seems great, but we are not red. The Nagas impressed me quite a lot because, again, I think you want to play this amount of desert no matter what. And the Archer also has been surprisingly solid for my opponent. You know, nothing crazy, but, you know, 2-drop you're actually happy to play, not just a feeler. Now, will we end up playing white? I don't know. It kind of depends on if we get some more fixing or not and this type of things. Ratchet Camel number 2, why not? I'm starting to be really high on 2-drop, like 6 is about where I want to be. So yeah, though since we might not end up playing white, I don't think the other Camel is an option. And well, Imaginary Threat looks... I don't know about this card. I've played it a little bit. I've played it once, it was fine. I've cycled it a couple times, I've seen my opponent cycling it. It's going pretty late in the draft, so I'm still unsure. It seems like a potentially powerful card. The effect is narrow, but then you have cycling it. It's kind of weird. I think it's solid, but I don't know. I feel like I'd just rather pick the Camel Zombie here and hopefully get some more deserts. I'm gonna pick Hypno Rivulet here, mostly because I want deserts for my camels, and I know I'm gonna be playing blue. Defeat would be a nice card to wheel. Eternal maybe, but I think I have enough 2-drop. And Fraying Sanity, it seems like a fun card, but not gonna do that today. Yesterday I killed someone with Hypno Rivulet, and my deck was not a meal deck. I had a pretty sick 3-color deck with 3 Sand Strangler, the Flametongue Kavu, the 3/3/4 that deals 3 to a creature if you control a desert. And I ended up with 7 deserts in my deck because I really wanted this to be good. And one game there was kind of a stall. I killed everything, they killed everything, there was nothing on the board anymore. They were just hitting me with a 2/2, but I was at 20. And I had 4 deserts on the battlefield, and I just randomly killed them by activating the Rivulet 4 times in a row. This was pretty funny because I raced them with the land when they were just, hitting me with a 2/2. That would have killed me at some point. So that was kind of funny and cool. So Apocalypse Demon is one of these big things that's actually pretty bad, I believe. Not really willing to play with it. Countervailing Winds has impressed me quite a lot. I think it's decent. Like, yeah, I've been fairly impressed with that card. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's been better than I thought it would be. Desert of the True is probably going to be the peak here, especially if we end up splashing for white. It's just going to be great. Another desert, great. However, we have Consigned to Oblivion here, which is a sweet card. Bounce effects are already quite good in this set because of Eternalize and Embalm, and they are decent against aggressive deck. And then if you attach a Mind Art effect, it's really good. I really wish I could pick the desert here, but I believe this is just better. Strictly better. Another Rune Rat. Sure. I like Rune Rat. I don't need any more 2-drop though. I'm not sure about the Spellweaver Eternal, I might just get it. It might just be better than the Kenra Eternal though. Yeah, it's probably just strictly better with higher Afflict. And 2/1 Pro. Well, it's a little bit weaker to random pump effect. I mean, -1 counter or 1 damage effect, obviously, but otherwise it seems better. Looks like we got another camel though, which I'm gonna play. I might even play those desert, even if I'm not playing white, just because, you know, triple camel. Desert of the Mindful is great. There was a Sandblast here, but I just have the uncolored desert. Don't think I'll play planning when I have that many things to do on turn 2 already. I don't care about defeat actually. I'm gonna pick planning, but I don't think I'm gonna play that. Same thing. I guess I don't think I'll. I guess Crook of Condemnation actually kind of makes sense in some matchup. Could make sense. Feral Prowler is pretty good. Surprised to see that going this late. Okay, cool. So we kind of have a decent reason to play white, just because we have 2 white desert that we kind of want in the deck anyway because of the camel. And then Survivor's Encampment helps fixing. So I might just go for the splash, even though... Well, I guess the Haven is not really worth splashing. Farm Market could be worth splashing, and having a couple of white in the deck is nice for dust, but it's not necessary. Probably just gonna pick Splendid Agony here. I don't really need more 2-drop, and there's nothing else for me, I guess. Fanbearer was in the last pack. It's still in this pack. It's a good card for sure, but it's not really a card I want to splash for, as it's a card you want to drop. I mean, it's still good in the late game, but it's still something you want to drop early. So I'm not the biggest fan of splashing for Fanbearers. Probably just gonna pick Comet here, which is a fine card. Dread Wanderer, cool. Cool. Looks good in this deck. Probably looks good in any black limited deck, but when you care a little bit more about zombies, I guess it's even better. Bone Peaker, good card. Late Claim is fine, but I think we'd rather have the Bone Peaker. Peck. Alright. And I'm fine playing that farm market with just 3 white sources. It might not be worth it, we'll see. I should probably cut some 2-drops. I might have to keep them all because I still need enough playables. And since we pick this amount of lands, we might be a little bit short. But we'll see. The first cards I'm gonna cut are the Kenra Eternal, I believe. I might just, if I can, I will cut both. Like, they are zombies, but Ruinrise is just much better, and the other zombies are better. And we don't care that much about zombies. We have the Scarab God, and that's about it. But the card is definitely stronger if, you know, on the first upkeep it survive. You get to drain them for 3/4 and scry 3/4. You know, otherwise it would just be 1. So it's definitely better with more zombies. Kind of enable itself. It's strong on itself. You don't have to build a zombie deck, but we have some decent zombies that we would have picked anyway. So, and if we get past something like Lord of the Accursed, that'd be amazing. All right, Angler Drake, good. Vizier of Tumbling Sand, not my favorite, especially in a deck like that. We cannot really use the cycling. We don't really want a ramp. It does give you the turn for Scarab God, I guess. I might play it. I don't really have a ton of things to do on turn 3 anyway, but I'm not thrilled by the card. Ooh, another Drake? Sweet. I do like Trial of Knowledge more than most people, even though you don't have, you know, as many cartouches in, it's because there's less Amonkhet pack. I still like that card a lot. I think drawing 3, discarding 1, if you have time to do that, is just very nice. Wandering Nest would be good too, but I believe Angler Drake is better. Okay, I do like Shimmer Scale Drake quite a bit. I'm not gonna try to splash for more white, it's not necessary. And we can use another 5-drop. Wasteland Scorpion is fine. Stamina is decent, we have quite a bunch of cheap creature. It works kind of well with Camel to some extent. Sorry. It's decent with the rats. Could be good with that because they will want to block it. It's good with Angler Drake. Yeah, it's nice. I like the card in general, but once you have a couple enter the battlefield or leave the battlefield effect, it gets even better. don't think Heckmass Sentinel is gonna be good here. I don't think I'm gonna play that. Unless I have to. Right. We need one more card. I'm fine playing 17 lands. I have 2/6 drop. And a couple of my desert I can just cycle, so it's not a big deal. I think you will play a lot more 17 lands deck than you would have done in Amonkhet, where most of the time I would, and most people would play 16 land deck. So right now we did one more spell, which I don't know what it could be, what it should be. Again, Graven Abomination I think is better than it looks like. I don't want the wall without weakness, I think it's really bad. I don't really want a 2-drop. I'm not gonna main deck defeat, so yeah, I think Abomination is just strictly better than Sentinels in this deck. Oh, well, it kinda depends. I guess we don't want to be too weak to 1 damage effect. We have a lot of 1 toughness creatures, so maybe we should, for that reason, we should just pick the Sentinels. And we have a couple cyclers, I guess. 2, 3. Yeah, okay, sure, I'll play that. I could play the Aven, but it's not even that great in my deck. It's a fine beater, but it's not better than a Wretched Bat. Is that the name? Wretched Bat? The 2/1 zombie flyer that get aced. It's not much better than that, and tapping things is not gonna do a whole lot. So I think we are fine. And, splashing for an aggressive 3-drop is not really where you want to be. Like, Farm Market is going to be good even if I can only cast it on turn 7 or 8. This is going to be much less impressive after turn 5 or 6. It's fine, but, not that great. Regarding the colors, I guess this is blue. This is mostly blue. This is white. This is black. We have 2 double blue, but that comes pretty late in the game. We want slightly more black, I guess, in general. And then, yeah, we will not play any planes. I kind of want 8 swamps. I guess we'll go basically 7/7 plus encampment, which is definitely a little bit greedy. Yeah, I'd rather be at 8 black. I guess the encampment should help. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. The mana base is a little bit greedy, but I think it's worth splashing mostly because we have the deserts that we kind of want anyway, and because we don't have that many great cards to add to the deck if we cut the white cards. At least, talking about the farm market. Yeah, alright, let's do that. Definitely like the deck. Hopefully we'll get to see how good the Scarab God is. I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Definitely drop a like if it's the case. Thank you for watching, and see you for the games.